Claymations are a form of stop-motion animation that centers around characters and settings created out of, you guessed it, clay. While it is an art form that is primarily targeted towards a younger demographic, there is a small number of creators that use it in the horror genre, as the movements of the characters can be quite unnerving, and the fact that it's created out of clay allows the directors to have much more creative freedom to do what they want with their projects. For that reason, we're going to have a look at some of the creepiest and most disturbing short claymations that have been created. So here are the 10 scariest claymations on the internet. Number 10. Pinkie. Pinkie is a project released in 2012 that was created by a YouTuber known as Takana. Takana was actually responsible for the claymation that went viral known as Chainsaw Maid. While that video went on to get over 6 million views, I felt like Pinkie was slightly more disturbing. It has a very basic premise that involves a man filming a girl we can assume is Pinkie. While it seems innocent enough at first, it quickly takes a disturbing and gruesome turn when we realize what they're actually filming. Number 9 is Darkness Light Darkness. This is one of the oldest entries on the list, as it was released almost 30 years ago in 1989. Regardless, it still stands the test of time. Directed by Jans van Meijeren, Darkness Light Darkness has a very simple plot that revolves around a human body slowly reconstructing itself in a very small room. While the plot seems very strange, it's put together brilliantly, and while it isn't creepy in a conventional sense, the imagery is both unnerving and bizarre. It's no surprise that Van Meijeren went on to become somewhat of a legend in the world of surreal animations. Number 8 is Deformed Gecko. Directed by Shigeru Okada, Deformed Gecko is actually a 5-part web series made this year in 2017 that tells the story of 3 sisters who are quite spoiled. They argue over trivial things, and one day the youngest sister is pushed over and proceeds to kill a gecko. They don't take much notice of it and brush it aside, but the gecko leaves behind some kind of a substance that takes over the body of each member of the family one by one. To find out why that is the case, you'll need to watch the full series, but here's a clip to give you an idea of the project. Number 7 is the Simpsons Couch Gag. When it comes to claymations on YouTube, Lee Hardcastle dominates the genre by shocking his audience of around 500,000 subscribers with his bizarre and well-made claymations. The Simpsons Couch Gag, released in 2016, can attest to this. Inspired by the independent horror film You're Next, Lee Hardcastle takes the classic Simpsons Couch Gag and puts his own gory twist on it, when some intruders break in and start killing each member of the family one by one. It's disturbing from the get-go, but somehow manages to get more and more disturbing with each scene. Number 6 is Deloused. Deloused is a short that was released in the 2012 horror anthology known as the ABCs of Death, which was a movie showcasing various different short horror films created by different directors. While some of the movies were slightly underwhelming, Deloused, directed by Robert Morgan, was an animation that stood out and was considered to be one of the best projects in the anthology. The short is about a man who is about to be executed by a number of insect-ridden individuals who drain him for blood. Before they leave him to die, one of the men kills a bug that's annoying him. That's a decision he'll soon regret, however, as the insect helps the executed man come back to life so that he can exact his revenge.
За жизнь. Плати за жизнь.
Number 5 is Violeta. Violeta is a Spanish claymation directed by Mark Reba and Ana Solanas that was released in 2006. Its full title translates into Violet, Fisher of the Black Sea, but apart from that, I couldn't find much more info about this 9-minute claymation. Even its IMDb page is quite strange, as the synopsis merely says, Violeta loves best fishing into the darkest depths. The mystery that surrounds this project may be quite deliberate, however, as this animation is extremely bizarre and definitely up for interpretation. The main character is Violet, a young girl who spends her days fishing in a contaminated lake. She lives in a house that looks like something out of a post-apocalyptic world with who we can assume is her blind and pregnant grandmother. There is also a woman there who is either dead or nearly dead living in the residence who may or may not be Violet's mother. It's difficult to tell what the story is trying to portray, but it's evident that Violet is lonely and has no one to speak to while she tends to her house. Even though I have no idea what's going on, it's very well animated and put together, so I recommend watching the full thing to see if you can wrap your head around it. But for now, here's a clip. Number 4 is Operator. Directed by Sam Barnett, Operator is a claymation released in 2013 that is actually the pilot to an ongoing web series. Operator centers around a character working for a corporation known as InfoCorp. Our main character, Bob, has the mundane job of moving links from one slot to another while he is enclosed in a small room. He is warned that they are implementing a new system, which means there is likely going to be a blackout. This does happen early on, and soon after, Bob encounters a strange-looking bug that freaks him out. Unfortunately, he is forced to continue working, otherwise he will be punished. This creates a disturbing panic that involves Bob trying to work whilst also trying to deal with this strange creature. The bug eventually attacks Bob and tries to infect him. It fails in doing so, and this is where we find out that the company actually organized this attack for a very sinister reason.
2 citations in 1 working day will result in automatic termination. Attention, Rhizomet team. Action protocol Eli approved. Proceed with cleanup. Employees at B5, G8, and L44 have avoided integration.
Number 3 is Ghost Burger. Lee Hardcastle returns once again with a claymation that's over 20 minutes in length known as Ghost Burger. It's actually a sequel to his shorter project known as T is for Toilet, which was also featured on the ABCs of Death. John, who has survived an accident he had in the prequel, is staying with his uncle for the summer when he kills a ghost. In order to get rid of the body, John and his cousin put it through a churner at a burger shop that the uncle owns. It converts the ghost into some kind of a paste. The paste is then accidentally sold to the mayor and turns out to be a hit, so the uncle asks the kids to get more, which sends them out on a ghost hunt inside of an abandoned haunted house. The plot obviously sounds bizarre, but it's executed brilliantly and the effort put into the project is amazing. I highly recommend watching the full 22-minute project, but here's a clip to show you how intense and well put together this claymation is.
No, Dad! Ghosts! The ones we use for burgers!
Oh, ghosts! You were serving ghosts?
Number 2 is Las Gemelas. Las Gemelas is another Spanish claymation released in 2010 that was also made by the creative duo that is Mark Reba and Ana Solanas. The title directly translates to The Twins of the West and is set in Barcelona in the year 1912. A young boy is kidnapped by two twins and is subjected to both physical and emotional abuse. He lives in this household with another young child who is seemingly killed and cooked. Number 1 is One of Two Evils. Directed by Christoph Jans, One of Two Evils is a claymation that was released in 2015 that is over 25 minutes in length. It tells the story of Louis, a young boy who is living with his parents who are going through a divorce. This makes for an uncomfortable environment, which causes Louis to have nightmares about his surroundings, so much so that he wishes his parents weren't even around. As the story develops, the relationship between the parents worsen, and so does Louis' nightmares, which become more and more violent and disturbing as time progresses. The project does have some standout moments to shock and disturb its viewers, but all in all, it's the constant feeling of despair and hopelessness that makes this short film more horrifying than most of the horror movies coming out today. The set, the voice acting, and the eerily unnerving movements of the claymated characters make this project one of the scariest independent animations you will see today.
Do you feel any better?
I'm fine, Louis. Your mummy is just feeling a bit ill. Why don't you go and check on your father?
He's sleeping.
I know he's not. He's downstairs going mad on his little sausage. Why don't you make me feel a little better?
What are you doing? Stop it!
I'm gonna take her away. Like you wished.
Mum, please.
Your mother isn't here. I've taken her body.
I didn't mean it, Mum. Please stop it.
What did I just say, you stupid fuck? I'm not your crybaby mother, and you aren't my wimp of a son.
Who are you? What's happened to my mum? You're not her.
You wished for this, Louis. You wished for this.
And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, I highly recommend checking out these claymations in full. I've linked every single one down below in order, so don't forget to go check them out. They are all really well made, and I had a great time looking through them for this list. With that being said, I will see you next week for another scary video, but as always, until next time.